Good evening. This is 60 Minutes. It's a kind of a magazine for television, which means it has the flexibility and diversity of a magazine adapted to broadcast journalism.
And if this broadcast does what we hope it will do, it will report reality.
But we do think this is sort of a new approach. We realize, of course, that new approaches are not always instantly accepted.
We'll see.
We will indeed.
I'm Mike Wallace.
I'm Harry Reasoner.
I'm Morley Safer.
I'm Dan Rather.
I'm Ed Bradley.
I'm Diane Sawyer.
I'm Steve Croft.
I'm Meredith Vieira.
I'm Leslie Stahl.
I'm Bob Simon.
I'm Scott Pelley.
I'm Katie Couric. I'm Lara Logan.
I'm Anderson Cooper.
I'm Byron Pitts.
I'm David Martin.
I'm Sharon Alfonsi.
I'm Oprah Winfrey.
I'm Bill Whitaker. Tonight, 50 years of 60 Minutes.
Good evening. Stop the War every Sunday night for just 1 hour at least. And for this video, a few minutes more of your time. We need to catch up. And when I say catch up, I mean catch up on the last half a century of news and newsmakers, which is exactly what this book does. You're watching the Thrift Store Rundown, where we bring the finest in journalism home on a budget. This is 50 years of 60 Minutes. The inside story of television's most influential news broadcast, which is indeed celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. The author is the current executive producer of 60 Minutes, Jeff Fager. Ironically and appropriately, where this was originally purchased from, it was bought for 50% off. I got it off of Amazon for $6.03. Free shipping. Retail price is $35 US, 47 Canadian dollars. This is indeed the behind-the-scenes story of the people, places, and news that made Don Hewitt's American institution in television tick for all these many years. And you don't have to look very far to find some noteworthy moments in this book. I would like to highlight some photographic collages that nearly take up all the page or take up the entire page. So here we have a great set of photographs from decades past, from the many newsmakers and stories and locations highlighted on 60 Minutes, and captions that accompany each of them. The daringness of Steve Croft, the poetic prose of Morley Safer, the adventurous spirits of Ed Bradley and Bob Simon, the dogged determination of Leslie Stahl, and of course, anyone would be reduced to a pile of jelly after going toe-to-toe with Mike Wallace. It's like watching a boxing match. Figure out when and where your opponent or interview subject is most vulnerable, and then hit him hard with another question. That's Mike Wallace in a nutshell, folks. And I know none of us will ever forget the curmudgeon-in-chief of 60 Minutes, Andy Rooney. I mean, I certainly won't forget him. We have his book, Common Nonsense, which actually is a thrift store purchase. Link is in the description. And I just love this exchange between a guy named Bill Whitlow and correspondent Steve Croft. The good news is, we're not cops. This Whitlow guy must be dirty. The bad news is, we're 60 Minutes. That's just awesome. Awesome right there. Of course, 60 Minutes has had its fair share of behind-the-scenes drama, namely Andy Rooney's controversial remarks which landed him in trouble, and the tobacco whistleblower story in 1996 which really put a damper on the spirit of 60 Minutes. All that, of course, was the basis for the 1999 Academy Award and Golden Globe nominated film, The Insider. Here are some more photographs, and the captions on the bottom. Here we have Scott Pelley, Leslie Stahl, Bob Simon, Ed Bradley, along with a couple of producers, Harry Radcliffe, the late great Harry Radcliffe, and Mike Wallace, with actress Goldie Hawn and her partner Kurt Russell. So yes, they do their fair share of pop culture icon interviews, which definitely makes them suitable for inclusion into our library. And even if they didn't, I'd still pick up this book because it's just plain awesome to read. Take it from somebody who doesn't really sound all the time like somebody who likes hard journalism and global journalism, but 60 Minutes knows that in spades, and they do it so well. They've been doing it for 50 years. We got some more photographs in here from decades past. The captions are on the left page. And here they are. And there are some photographs in the back of this book. And you don't have to look pretty hard to find more photographs in here because there's a lot of them, including behind the scenes photographs as well, which is always appreciated. Here we have some more in here. We have Charlie Rose with the founder and CEO of Amazon, Jeff Bezos. How appropriate for this video. Bob Simon. A lot of people at 60 Minutes who started there are no longer with us anymore. Bob Simon, Mike Wallace, Ed Bradley, and of course Andy Rooney. A lot of people, including director Artie Bloom. We also have Scott Pelley and Kate Blanchett with Leslie Stahl. What did I tell you? When it comes to photographs, this book has it in spades. And these are some highlights from the past couple of seasons of 60 Minutes. There's one gripe I have with this book, and that is that the book does not go into chronological order exactly. They begin with the third decade from 1988 to 1998, which is when 60 Minutes was at their high point. Then they go to the first decade. The first ever broadcast of 60 Minutes is highlighted here with Mike Wallace and Harry Wiesner. Then the second decade. Then the fourth and the current decade. The 50th anniversary here. Common Nonsense I would give a 4.5 out of 5 because it is just awesome. This I give the same rating to because I'm not really content going away from chronological order. And though I doubt it, if he is somehow listening to this, this is from Morley Safer, eulogizing the great producer Joe Wesper. I just want to assure him that our merry ship sails on, that his example is still the order of the day. Some of the older timbers may be getting a little creaky, but the course remains true and the weather fair. To summarize that poetic eulogy, I told you, he definitely knows poetry. He used to write with a typewriter until late in his life, Morley Safer. But what he really means is this. No matter what change may bring to this American time-honored and trusted institution in journalism, one thing's for sure. The faces identified and profiled in here and celebrated throughout will be back next week with another edition of 60 Minutes. And we'll be back next week with another edition of the Thrift Store Rundown, bringing the finest in journalism home on a budget. Happy anniversary, 60 Minutes, and may you keep ticking and ticking a lot of people off for many years to come. We all benefit for it. Thanks for joining us.